Hello YouTube, it's Reaper again, and here's my girlfriend Kelsey.
Hi.
Today we're going to talk about relationships, and I'm going to smoke Villager's late night pipe tobacco. Usually not a big fan of aromatics, but it's not bad. Alright, so where do you want to start?
Okay, so this is about relationships, so I figured we would start off with like how we met, and then throw in little stuff, like, I don't know, any random thing. So, how did we meet?
Alright, we met at a pig roast up at our neighbor's house. We actually went to the same elementary school, but she was a year older than me, so we didn't talk much. She was a grade older than me, and then I was there with my friends who were hanging out with her and her little sister and my little sister, who were best friends like all through elementary school. And then we started to talk a little bit, and she had a crush on one of my friends actually at that time.
That is a sad story. I'm not gonna go into that.
And then she decided to come with me and my family on a little tubing trip with our two sisters, and we ended up, and my mom, and we ended up, no, that's Paul. And then we started hanging out a little bit. After that, we kind of became friends, and then we found out we had a class together in school, guitar too.
I was like, yes, God sent me a message.
And we started talking more and hanging out, and eventually we decided to go out.
And then when we first started that tubing, when we went tubing,
we sat in the car and had an awkward silence.
Your mom set us up.
She didn't set us up.
Yes, she did. She definitely set us up.
Alright.
She stayed in that gas station for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
she set us up.
My mom takes forever. Alright, so what's next?
Okay, so once we started going out. Actually, let me just say this. Before we even started going out, like, I knew he liked me because, well, he typically doesn't show any emotion ever. So when I finally was like, I'm gonna hug him, after I talked to his friend Ben, and then I hugged him, and he walked away with the biggest smile on his face, and his cheeks were bright red, and I walked away, and I was just like, fuck you.
Come on, Mom.
And then, yeah, when we first, he skateboarded down to my house a lot.
Twice.
A lot. Then you skateboarded down, and Kayla came with you on her scooter at like 9 o'clock. And then we walked to Felt's house. And we hung out.
Yeah. Sorry, I have the screensaver. I'm gonna quick fix that over here. Alright, we're back.
Okay, so yeah, he used to skateboard down to my house like all the time. And then when he asked me out, he was like, we should go to the mall and hang out with my friends. So I was like, he definitely likes me. And then he kept saying he had to talk to me, and I was like, okay, we're gonna talk, and we're at the mall, and he's like, well, I'll talk to you. Or no, he was like, we're gonna talk at the mall. So I was like, at the mall, are you gonna talk to me? And he didn't, so he was like, wait until we get back to my house. So we got back to his house, and we were talking, just kind of chilling in his basement, watching TV, and I was just like, okay, I can't take this anymore, so I just kind of brought it up. And I basically asked him out for you. And, yeah.
Yeah, I guess the point of the story is you don't have to have the most comfortable friendship to make it work. Just, you know, awkward things do work out sometimes. And also, it doesn't really matter who asks who out, as long as there's some kind of mutual attraction, it'll work out in the long run.
I think it's okay when a girl asks a guy out. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I don't either, but, you know.
I don't think it makes the guy look any different, if that's a good word for that.
I just wanted to wait till we were ready to drop you off, so that way if you said no, it wouldn't be awkward.
Okay, let's face it, you know I like you.
No, I didn't. I was going to do that. I hate being rejected. But yeah. So what's next? Oh, where should we talk more about it?
It's like forever ago.
Alright. Yeah, I guess just it's always good to kind of have a basic friendship build up before you ask someone out, like not become best friends because then you'll be afraid to ruin it. But sometimes if it's worth it to take the risk, it's worth it, Give it a shot.
I would have much rather have had it come out the way it did than like know him before I did, because if I would have been friends with him as long as my sister was friends with his sister, I probably wouldn't have even risked it. He'd be more like a brother to me. He's like my best friend now, so I feel like if we ever did break up, not that we will ever, but we would still be friends just because I don't think we could live without each other.
There's actually, to bring up the whole like can't live without each other, there's a gay couple down in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. We used to have a little Charlie down there. We'd go down in the summer, my family, and they weren't a couple anymore. They broke up, but they still had the place together. They went down all the time. They were like inseparable. But, I just think it was kind of cool.
Wasn't it something with the dogs? I remember somebody saying something about dogs.
No, that was another guy. He had a really nice husky.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright, so what next?
I guess getting over the 3-month hump.
Alright.
But I think before that is like, when is it appropriate to do anything? Because we did kind of jump into that, like, dramatically.
I say just jump into whatever feels comfortable. Don't rush anything and don't take anything too slow. I feel like that's enough said on the subject. What about you?
I don't know. I just say whatever feels right, go with it. Don't think you're rushing, but like don't hold it off forever, because then you'll miss all of your chances.
Alright.
But anyways, getting over the 3-month hump.
What is the 3-month hump? I've heard it before, I don't know what it is.
It's like, usually couples start fighting. That's when everything is like, becomes real. When that like newness of the relationship is no longer there because you're so used to each other. It's getting over the 3-month hump. If you can get over the 3-month hump, you're pretty much going to be together for a while.
I don't think we really started fighting, like having any fights at all until like closer to 6 months.
6 months was about the time we started fighting, and we fight over the stupidest things.
Yeah. I guess the point of that is it's okay to fight. It's healthy that you get everything out. I mean, it's better if you can talk about things rationally beforehand, but let's face it, you can't.
Well,
If you can, it's great. But
yeah, I was gonna say if you can, that's one thing, but like, I don't know, for me sometimes it's good to let it build up, because then instead of like saying one thing when you have like a ton of other things to say, it's like it builds up so you get everything out at once.
Alright.
But yeah, getting over the 3-month hump would be like, once you get past that, I don't know.
Things kind of smooth out.
Yeah, because you're used to each other. Like, by that time, if you haven't farted around each other, like, it's not worth it.
I don't know. I don't think farting is the best way to judge a relationship. But
Well, yeah. But I mean, if you want it to be a serious relationship, how is it going to be serious if you can't fart around each other?
you could just say be comfortable.
True. True.
Alright. Anything else?
I don't know, I can't think of anything of getting over the 3-month hump.
It's really just if it's worth it, you'll know it. If the person's mature enough to deal with a little bit of fighting and getting past the giddiness of it, then it's worth it. If they're not and you're not, it wasn't meant to be. Maybe you'll meet up later, but probably not. Alright, go ahead.
When things are appropriate?
Oh, we already talked about
I mean, like, all things. Like, when are certain... I guess we kind of did cover that.
yeah, just whenever something feels comfortable.
Sure. It's so boring after that. You get used to each other.
You do, but at the same time, you know, if you really like the other person, you always kind of grow, and you just realize you like them more and more every day that passes, and eventually it turns into love, and, you know. Okay, how do you know you're in love?
I don't know, for a girl it's different. For a girl, like, you're in love the day you meet that person. Whereas for a guy, like, it kind of grows on you. So, like, for a girl, it's like the newness of the relationship is what makes you feel in love. But when you know you're, like, really in love is when you can't, like, live without that person. Not saying that you can't be independent or anything, but, like,
When the thought of it
the idea
makes you
scares
upset.
you.
Yeah. Not scares you, just makes you not as happy. Like, they just kind of add a whole depth of happiness to your life.
Yeah.
Alright?
I don't know. After that, it's kind of like, I don't know, for us it was like, I guess you could say figuring things out.
Like, disagreements and stuff? And...
Yeah.
Alright.
Because we do kind of, we argue a lot, but we argue over, like, stupid things. And
Like, she thinks I'm immature.
I think,
I'm immature in the way where I can get really irritating if I feel like it. But,
that's usually what we argue over.
yeah, but other than that, I'd say I'm pretty mature.
You are very mature. If, like,
The setting's right.
not even that, just like if someone were to meet you, like, tomorrow, they would never be able to guess how old you are. Because when I first met you, if you hadn't told me how old you were, I would have thought you were my age.
It's a year older. It doesn't change that much. Especially, you know, at that age.
I mean, but like now,
It's
it's like
you
you just carried yourself like you were older than you were, and you're very polite and very well mannered and chivalric. Very, very chivalric. He actually holds the door open for me.
Yeah, do that, guys. Bonus points. But girls, don't expect it, because then you're just gonna be let down. It's truly something that's dying today, and there's a few guys trying to hold on to it, but you know, there's only so many of them.
Like, don't expect a guy to pull a chair out for you, because I still have to do that. Not that I have a problem with it.
I do already.
Okay, when we go out and stuff. He did it at homecoming, and then I
We
wanted
didn't have a seat at homecoming. That was prom.
No, he went out to front place.
Oh,
Oh, you're sleeping. And then we went out to eat recently, and he held the chair out for me. Pulled the chair out for me. Yeah. You're so boring.
yeah, we are.
Really boring.
Only relationships are boring. They're not boring, but talking about them is.
Can I just say one thing?
What?
Like, don't expect like that perfect movie relationship, because it's not gonna come true. And the closest thing I've seen to it was my nanny and pappy, and I hope we're like this one someday, because my pappy at age like 70 something and my nana being like 60 something would walk out into the kitchen and grab her butt and just say, "Hey baby," and then kiss her and walk out. It's like, that's what I want.
You want me to grab your butt?
You do that anyway.
Alright. So nice.
I don't know.
Alright.
Breakups?
Alright, well, we've been together almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in September 17th. Ignore the bell. Alright, and so by then, you know, we've been together 2 years, and it's
Actually 22 months on the 17th of this month.
not too hard. But,
It's not going too hard.
yeah. But if anything were ever to happen, I feel like you know, like she said, stay friends, maybe even get back together.
We probably would get back together.
But when is it time to break up?
Is there ever a time to break up?
Not between us, I mean like when things go wrong. Like how wrong is wrong enough to break up?
My opinion is if a guy disrespects you, however that may be, however you take the idea of being disrespected, and depending on the severity of it, like, then yeah. Or like if you get cheated on, like, don't take that person back, because I've been there.
I've been there.
Once a cheater, always a cheater. It never changes.
Yeah. For me, it's just whenever you stop being happy with the relationship, it's time to talk about it and give them some time. You know, changing isn't easy, but if you don't see any progress within, you know, a while and it just gets unbearable, it's time to let it go. Maybe they'll realize what they had after you're gone and give another chance, but you know, it's not worth it to stay around in a bad relationship.
And that's kind of where I come in with, like, if you aren't happy or you're getting bored with the relationship, take some time away from each other. And I don't mean like break up and just go off and do your own thing. Just stay together, but don't hang out. Like, take a couple days to yourself. Give yourself some time to think. Give the other person time to think. And then come back. If you come back and you feel like the same way you did when you first met, then it's not worth it to break up. But if you're still bored.
No, I mean, that's a little different with us because we hang out like almost every day.
I don't mind that though.
I don't either, but I'm saying, like, other people don't hang out as much with their girlfriend or boyfriend, so with that, you know, maybe take more time off depending on how often you hang out, and, you know.
Yeah.
I guess the final thing we should talk about is cheating. Don't ever do it.
Don't.
It really, really hurts the other person. It just kind of makes them feel like, why weren't you good enough? Unless you're that kind of person where you're confident enough and strong enough that you can just deal with it. I mean, it'll hurt no matter what, but, you know, maybe you'll realize, you know, it's not me, they're just a piece of crap.
Yeah. I don't know, like, I don't know how to talk about that, because, like, I've been there. Like, if you wouldn't want it to happen to you in a relationship, don't inflict that kind of pain on somebody else, because it hurts. It hurts enough to make a person, like, cry for months.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I ever have cried over a guy like that.
Yeah. Well, I've seen friends. It sucks. I did think of one more thing I wanted to say before we go, and I know this video is extremely long. I'm hoping YouTube will let us post it also. I'm actually going to stop this here and we'll resume. Alright, now I know there's the whole stereotype that girls want jerks. That's not the case. Girls do want a nice guy, but they want confidence, and that's the issue there. And
guys want that too.
No, yeah, but I'm saying with, like, I don't. Maybe I'm weird, but I kind of like a shy girl. I don't like the girl that's kind of in your face and irritating.
That's probably why you're with me, because I'm not the most outgoing person in the world.
Yeah, but the point is, you know, with the guys, you need to show a little bit of confidence without being a jerk about it. And at the same time, girls, maybe it's time to give the shy guy a chance, because believe it or not, once they get in that relationship, they kind of do become a little more confident. Like, I used to be extremely shy. I would have never thought of filming myself for this, and maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. It might be irritating. My voice kind of sucks. But it definitely boosted my confidence just being with her a few months. You know, hearing compliments back and forth and stuff like that, it really helps. So, girls, maybe give that shy guy a chance. It could be worth it in the long run.
Like, I can honestly say, when I first started going out with him, like, I used to think I was not the most unattractive person. I was like, I could look in the mirror and be happy with what I saw. But since I've been with him, it's like I can walk around without makeup and feel completely fine. I can walk around. I actually haven't done my hair in ages. The most I do is this. and throw it up into a ponytail, because that's all I ever do anymore. And I'm gonna do it now.
So I guess just a final word, just, always be supportive to your boyfriend or girlfriend, significant other, and always just kind of, be there for them. That's really the most important part in a relationship, and you gotta try to find a way to keep it fresh and keep the romance there too, guys. I mean, I slip on that a lot, because I don't make a ton of money at my job, and I'm kind of cheap, and I like to buy things that I don't need.
Your cheapness is okay.
But, so, I don't have a ton of money to take her out on dates and stuff, but you gotta try. Even if it's like a walk somewhere, it's something.
I'm the kind of girl where I don't want you spending a ton of money on me. I'm okay with a date at McDonald's. Like, I really am. Like, that sounds so bad, but I don't mind going on dates to McDonald's.
Like, a lot of people go on coffee dates to, like, Starbucks.
We go to McDonald's.
But, find a girl who's not going to be high maintenance, because she's going to suck.
I'm, like, half dude, so.
Yeah, it's
not really, like, literally half dude. I'm all.
She's a guy up here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And communication is key. If you don't talk about problems, if you don't, like, just talk in general, it'll screw your whole relationship up, and it's not worth it to bite your tongue and keep your mouth shut. So whenever you say something, say it, and say it in person, because I've learned this the hard way. Talking through a text it
gets nothing done, and you
pointless.
Because then you have a bunch of crap to read. I don't like to read. I do like to read, just not on the phone. But
like, you don't get any of the emotion out of reading. It's like, if I scream at him in his face, he'll listen. But if I scream at him through a text and I just caps lock, it's like,
then
you're
you just
irritating.
sound stupid.
Yeah.
We'll look stupid.
Yeah.
Alright.
You're just irritating.
So if there's any questions you guys have, or any video topics or anything like that, you want to see here back for some more, because it's definitely nice having someone with me. Let me know in the comments if anyone actually watches this. Thanks, and I hope you enjoyed the video.